Islam, Islam, Islamism. Praise Allah. Honest to the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Honest to Marcus Messiah, Garvey Beta, John the Baptist return. Honest to the past, present, and future leaders of the Moorish Science of America. Honest to mother and father, the children. Honest to all harbingers of sons and daughters who are in the Moorish Science of America to this day. Today's topic is superior versus inferior. And you're probably wondering why your brother Morris Live got that title up there. Because a lot of people, or should I say the common people, don't understand that when you exercise power through words, is navigate through the spirit and the mind of the people who create these words that give it power. And when you create these words that give it power, you tend to lose yourself in the words and not looking at the actual definition of the word and trying to come to some clarity that the superior race is not the so-called white people, and the inferior people or so-called race is not the black people. We already know that there's no history that dates back to the ancient times of being white or black. That came in modern society in the 1700s, late 1700s, 1786, 1789, so on and so on. We got to be very careful of what we say and what we categorize ourselves, or we categorize our children, or we categorize our children, meaning put them on a birth certificate saying that they're black. And black lives don't matter, yo. And I've been saying it time and time again, and it seems that people tend to take it and run with it because these were the titles that was given to you by the slaveholders in 1779. So you are the cause of your own problem because you accept what was given to you by the slaveholder, and you refuse to investigate or be a private investigator to look into the situation itself and say, let me look at the word black in the dictionary. Let me see what it says. And can you really identify a group of people with a color or a constitution? Okay, so if there is supposedly this white and black people, brown people, Latino, Chicano, Hispanic, where is their constitution at then? Where's their law at? What constitute? How many amendments to the Constitution does the so-called Negro, black, and colored have? Latino, Chicano, Hispanic, brown, yellow, white, and all these other colors that these ones want to just keep misinterpreting a group of people by ethnic background, which is totally irrelevant to nationality. Now, we understand that words can play mind games on us, and the one who is in power need to have some type of superiority over the so-called minority and denationalize them and not call them blackamoor, but call them Negro, which means black in translation, and colored, anything that has been painted, stained, varnished, or dyed. Black, according to science, means death. This is how we need to understand why we cannot sit here and call the so-called Europeans who are from Europe, who are over 3,000 miles away from their home in Europe, and call them white. Because when you call them white, you're saying that they're superior to you. When you call yourself black, you're saying you're inferior to them. Them meaning the so-called white people. So again, I ask the question, where is the so-called white people's nationality? Where's their government office at? Who is their president? Where's their constitution at? Where's their laws at? And I ask the same question to the so-called black people. Where's your national flag at? So-called black people, Negro, blacks, and coloreds. Where's your land at? Where's your constitution at? Where's your laws at? You can't come with some Johnny-come-lately demonstration saying, oh, well, we represent the red, black, and green. Yeah, that's our flag right there. No, the red, black, and green represent the Universal Negro Improvement Association that got started by Marcus Messiah Garvey Bay, who was a harbinger of the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. A lot of people don't see that. Ain't nothing wrong with waving that banner. It's just that you got to understand what the whole Marcus Garvey movement was for. All in all, he's been saying a man without nationality is like a tree without roots. So tell me how Garvey is lying. Tell me how Garvey Bay is lying. Tell me when this stuff hits the fan and all these stores close down and these radical terrorist European so-called white folks who are Klansmen and stuff like that, tell me how they're going to be protected under the United States of America Constitution where they're not even American to begin with. I don't care what George Washington said. Matter of fact, the only reason why he's on the dollar bill is because he's the first Masonic European president. John Hanson was a president before George Washington. George Washington represents the Second Continental Congress, not the first. If we look at, like I keep saying and saying again, so on my channel for all you the newbies who are coming in, the new babies who are coming in to get this information. Let's look at the skit called Key and Peele with the Second Amendment to the Constitution, which means right to bear arms. If you look at the skit, critique it in detail. What does Michael Key say? What did he tell the European in the skit? He said, if you agree with the freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of the press, the First Amendment, he told the European to sign there. The European didn't tell him to sign there. He told the European to sign there, to agree to the amendment to the Constitution. So what does that tell you? So if you ever notice, through comedy, they tend to throw slapstick out there, but they tend to put the truth in there right there in front of you, but you tend not to really catch it right away because you have to have a really keen third eye. You have to have a pure state of mind to be able to understand deception. If you understand deception, then you can understand why things they are in the cares of the world. Why are sisters dressing like harlots? Why are they dressing like Jezebels? And why are these dudes dressing, you know what I'm saying, with their pants hanging off they Zacchaeus their butt, you know what I'm saying? And ready to be sodomized. That's what that means. That means the dudes are open up for sodomy. That's a sign of homosexuality with the slaveholder. They've been doing that since the beginning of slavery, which was 1779. Right? And until we understand the condition and the aftermath of integration, then you can begin to understand that what's in the now is a reflection of the past. If you don't understand the reflection of the past, then how are you going to change the future? How are you going to teach your little ones, your children, your sons and daughters the so-called Negro blacks and colored children that they're Moorish descendant, and they come from royalties of Sultan and Sultana, which we don't use the name king or queen. Because I'm going to tell you like this. King is one who represents the ruler over in a castle that was built by the Moors. A king is a European. His wife is a queen, which he treats her like a peasant. But in Moorish culture, no. The ruler in Morocco was Sultan. His wife is Sultana. She will never be a queen. Matter of fact, the man is not the first teacher, even though that's what European psychology teaches us. The man is the dominant one. He's the warrior. He goes out and brings home the bacon and blah, 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 blah. No. I need the brothers and sisters to open up their minds and understand that you're not Negro, black, and colored, because that history only goes back a few hundred years. 1779. The mark of the beast. The one who were crawling on all fours. The ones who were civilized and didn't even take a bath. The one who massacred cats. The ones who mistreat their wives and drug them by the hair to the cave and mistreat them and all this other stuff. That's European history. The whole sodomizing, sticking the man's manhood into the woman's butt and all this other stuff, and that's a sign of sodomy for the ones who don't understand what sodomy is. Right? I haven't known anywhere in history, in Moorish culture, Moorish history, that we mistreat our sultanas and our Moabitises, and we tell them walk 3, 4, 5, 6 steps behind you. That's a caveman mentality. How does one got to go audacity to tell a woman what she cannot do? You know what I'm saying? Dictate to her, mistreat her, but yet still he's so caveman mind syndrome to the point where he don't even know where to stand. So I need to take a time back in history to understand where all this technology came from. It definitely didn't come out of Europe. No, it didn't. Europeans are not that they're not that articulate. They're not that intelligent. And if you look throughout history of European history, all they know for is replicating what was already being done and mistreating the Moorish Americans and calling them Negro, black, and colored, blackamoor, you know what I'm saying? And taking away their inventions, their ideas that have been invented way before slavery has started. So now you tell me, who's the true inventor? It can't be Thomas Edison. Edison's not even his real name. Franklin is not even his real name. These are Moorish names. Benjamin Banneker Bay was an inventor. All throughout history, all these so-called Negroes are Moorish brothers and sisters who invented stuff. The only reason why the Dutch get their ideas from of covering partial of their hair is from the Moors. Wearing them long dresses from the Moors. Wearing them clog shoes from the Moors. They're not that intelligent. If you look at how nations were civilized way before the Europeans got in power, then that tells you who was lazy and who was very incompetent and one who did not know how to read or write. Matter of fact, it's all facts that Arabic has a very strong hold in all languages, because there are certain words you can say in Cantonese and Mandarin that leads you back to Arabic. There are certain words that in the language of Tagalog they speak in the so-called Philippines that leads you back to Arabic. There are words that are used in different African tongues. Wolof, Twi, and what's the other one? Dang, Wolof and the Ghanese language. All the languages all lead back to Arabic. The Spanish language leads back to Arabic, which leads us to Aramaic. The people who spoke Aramaic at that time in Arabic, which is basically the same translation, is Allah. The Messiah said Allah. He didn't say what the modern day Christians are saying because they have no idea. The only ones who are very familiar with that information is the preachers. And if you ask them, a lot of them won't even tell you. They won't even tell you the truth. Some will, but a lot of them won't tell you the truth. But yet still, people are not keeping in mind of the hardship that the so-called Negro, blacks, and colors, Latino, Chicano, Hispanic, and Islanders have faced with the European influence. And ever since the European came into power through the Rothschild Rockefellers and forced China into a situation where it is communism. It's not that it's China is communism. It's the people behind the scenes that leads to communism. Who is the one that's governing all these banks and stuff? It can't be the so-called Negro, blacks, and coloreds because they don't have a nationality. The only reason why China is the way it is now, or when it started communism, when it started war amongst the Japanese, the Koreans, and Vietnamese, and etc., is because of European influence. And Brother Malcolm X said it best. He says, everywhere the white man has gone, he's caused problems. He says, I condemn the white man for being the most swindler on earth, the most swine eater. Well, it's the truth. Brother Malcolm was not lying. But I don't call him white because the word white means purity, and purity means God, and God means rule of the land. Speaking of Brother Malcolm, his wife, Dr. Betty Shabazz L, I should say, said that the Moorish Science Temple of America was good teachings. That's what she said. So she wore a turban and crescent pin. Behind the scenes, Brother Malcolm was following Prophet Noble Drew Ali's lessons in Moorish science, where Elijah Muhammad and Master Farah Muhammad came from, which they denounced Moorish science. But in the message to the black man in America, it says that Noble Drew Ali was a great man. Now, why would Elijah Muhammad say that? Or should I say Arpul Bey? Also known as Arpul Bey, Sheikh Adept in the Detroit Temple, right alongside D40L, also known as Dod L, Master Farah Muhammad, you know what I'm saying? And this is not slander, this is facts. I've actually looked at the records myself. But with that being said, family, we gotta really be mindful of what we say and how we say it. We can't call the brothers and sisters bitch, hoe, nigga, nigger, and all that sort of stuff. Nigga and nigger, negro means the same thing. I don't know where y'all get this Ice Cube perspective from, or this Tupac demonstration from. No, we shouldn't have been saying that amongst ourselves to begin with, because it's all derogatory. There's nothing upliftment about it. And this is where everything goes back to the slaveholder, because that's what he called us, and we accepted it. We sucked it up with the hog moths and chitterlings. We swept it up with the catfish and all the bottom feeders. Is the reason why our people are dysfunctional. The so-called Negro blacks and colors are dysfunctional because it's the poor dieting and poor eating, the poor education of self. If they knew education, if they had the proper education of self and their nationality and culture, they would not be acting the way they be acting. And I'm not saying all of them. I'm talking about the ones who apply to. But can we still blame the so-called white man for that? No, we hit the excuses. Prophet Drew Ali said, I took all excuses away. We really need to be mindful of everything we do, plot our steps, how we're going to speak, how we're going to address things without slander or defamation of character, not only amongst our brothers and sisters or so-called Negro blacks and colors, or so-called brothers and sisters abroad, such as, okay, watch this one. The people of Haiti. I don't like using that word because the root word of Haiti is hate. Now walk with me on this one. The root word to Haiti is hate. Dominican Republic. You guys got to really pay attention to the words. Costa Rica, another one. Rich coast. How are a group of people a coast? They're not a body of water. Let's go with the other one. Puerto Rico. Rich harbor, rich port, in translation. So now, how could a person be a wall or something that was made by hands to be able to dock boats and let people off boats? So that means the people of Puerto Rico are dead. That means the people of Puerto Rico are black, which means death again, which again is redundant. Redundant meaning it repeats itself. I can't make it up. I say this to my channel from time and time again because the brothers and sisters out there who are newly into the chat, and I'll be demonstrating with y'all. I'll be giving y'all the shout outs. You know what I mean? So we really got to start thinking, family. Stop letting these people dictate to you what your nationality is or what your astaghfirullah. I stand corrected. Stop letting these Europeans dictate to you what your ethnicity is or your true national origin. Stop letting them call you black, because black is slander and defamation of character. The word black means pale in etymology. I keep saying it. But for the sake of time, I'm going to go into the chat. Let's see who we got. Let's see who we have. To all the visitors. Islam, peace and blessings to the first person in the chat. Donna Winnett. Islam, peace and blessings. And we got Sam. Peace and blessings to you. Miss Murphy 107. Praise Allah for you. Giving you a shout out. Peace and love. Sergeant Kayla. Islam, peace and blessings to you too. I don't think you need tequila. You're going to kill your liver. You're going to kill your kidneys. Drinking all that ethanol, the same thing as gasoline. And giving shout out to Founder Nickel. Well, heaven high to you too. Peace and blessings. Sergeant Kayla, peace and blessings again. I pray that whatever you're going through, I pray that y'all conquer in the name of peace, because that's what it's about right now. And we have back here XD Phantom. I've seen you before. Islam, peace and blessings. Yeah, so we really got to be very careful in everything we do, thought, words, deeds, and actions. There's no way in heck a person who is Created last is my superior. Never that. Matter of fact, I've met so-called white people who are genuine, and there's not very many of them. Shout out to them too, who are on the same side as the so-called Negro, blacks, and colors, who will fight the war with us. All the rest of the 90-some%, y'all gonna reap what y'all sow, cause y'all just straight evil. Evil. You want everything your way. You want to be misogynistic. You want to be male chauvinist. You want to be derogatory towards anybody who don't look like you or act like you. You're not skilled. And even if you are skilled, you're a plagiarist. You lie all the time. You can't tell the truth. The truth is not in you. Your father's of the devil. And if anything, you guys are just known for just straight being evil, cunning, swindler. Always trying to figure out a way how to destroy a group of people. But yet you still keep doing the same thing over and over again. You don't even realize that the hate that you practice and the negative energy you put out is what you get back in return. You keep telling us to go back home to Africa where we came from, but you don't even realize that you're not even at home yourself. You're from Europe. Now you tell me where the white nation is, and please don't say America, because you guys are just straight off your rockers. All you want to do is get paid for being hateful. So if you get paid for being hateful, that means your Jesus is the devil, your God is the devil, and you're a paganistic. Your Christianity is paganistic too, because how you gonna be talking about Trinity, but then again you don't even follow the Ten Commandments? Thou shalt not put any other God before me. That's what the Ten Commandments say. But you turn from monothesis to polythesis. What kind of sense does that make? And then your people got to go audacity to go tell our people that we need to pay y'all taxes. But y'all don't even own the land. Majority of y'all people, y'all Caucasian people who are evil, got the judges, the lawyers, the prosecutors, the public defenders, all of y'all. And the reason why y'all get away, the reason why every time a Ku Klux Klan man create havoc and hardship, he gets a slap on the wrist. He get short period of time. Especially if he's a police officer. Because he took an oath with the Masonic Order. That's why. That's why the Ku Klux Klan is getting away with so much. And you don't think they're going to reap what they sow. Taking the alligator taking the so-called Negro, black, and colored baby from mama and go use it as alligator bait as the alligator is eating that baby alive. And then going to shoot the alligator in the head just to go create some alligator shoes and alligator purses. Who does that? Who does that evil act? That's not in the Moorish culture. That's not in my people's culture, Asiatic culture. No, we don't do that. How would you like it if we took your wife and we raped her? How would you like it if we took your child and fed it to the piranhas? That'll mess up y'all head. But you do it to us. You lynch our people, but when we read, you afraid we might take over. So who's got the hate? Who's the one who's lazy? Who's the one who built this country? You can't even say y'all Caucasian, y'all superior folks did, because y'all didn't do nothing but just sit there and collect a check and get money off the slave, off of probably like 50 cents per slave or something, and you getting all this wealth off of being evil. So how are you gonna reap the blessings of going to heaven in the sky as you do, as you keep pointing in the sky that the heaven's there, but you don't, but you're not even articulate when you read the scripture. You don't even read the book of Galatians, chapter 6, 7 through 9 says you reap what you sow. We already know that you serve two masters. You act all holy than now on Sunday, on church day, but then again you evil on Monday through Friday. So business as usual. And again, it goes back to the title of the show today: Superior versus Inferior. If anything, the so-called white folks are inferior of the so-called black people who are truly Moorish, because we are the ones who have the power. And no matter how many times you break us down and destroy us, we still keep rising on top and still reproducing ourselves and start creating babies to be good inventors and stuff. We get tired of condition, but that's all we do is turn the other cheek. So how long do you think we're going to turn the other cheek for? So when we start taking off y'all babies' heads and wives' heads and stuff like that, all of a sudden now you wanna have some remorse. Who does that? Honestly. So when the so-called Negro, black, and color retaliate with the so-called Chicano Hispanics and the Islanders retaliate against the so-called white folks, all of a sudden now it's a problem. They have to defend. Now they have to defend themselves. But when y'all do it to us, it's okay. When y'all lynch our people, it's okay, right? When y'all do all these negative, harsh things to our people, it's okay, right? You want to sick dogs on our brothers and sisters. You want to lynch us. You want to take away our babies. You want to create your little program called Child Protective Services, so that way you can take away what belongs to us and mess with our minds and say that we have to go through all these doggone parenting classes. If anything, the one who needs parenting classes is y'all. But how long is it when the so-called Negro, black, and color going to be taking mess from the one who supposedly inferior with the ones who are superior? How long is that going to happen for? That's the question. How long? Are you with it? Because this is not hate teachings. This is real. So, being burned alive in front of a whole bunch of so-called white folks, you don't think you're going to reap what you sow for that? Burying the brothers and sisters alive. The women raping and pillaging along the husband, the slaveholder as well. You think they're going to reap what they sow? Oh, okay. So we going to see what's going to happen when calamity and catastrophe hit. You got all that dollars and gold and silver of wherever you from, and all of a sudden now when it's being stripped from you, and you go back to Europe, to the Caucasus Mountains, where you have to go back as cave dwellers, right? When you go back as cave dwellers, now you don't have that wealth no more, but the wealth is going to have to go back to the indigenous Moorish American Muslims. Because you Klansmen already know what time it is. You know you can't mess with us Moorish American Muslims, but you can't do that to the Negro, blacks, and coloreds. You can do that to Negro, blacks, and coloreds, but you can't do that to us. The only thing that's protecting the Moorish Americans right now is law, which y'all don't have. Y'all lawless. Lawless and heartless. So, this is a short show today. I have other things I have to tend to today. So, this is a brief history, family. And I want y'all to take heed to everything that was said. So y'all be at peace. And make sure you do right by yourself and by your neighbor. Love your mother and love your father while they still here. Because once they're gone, they're gone. There's no coming back. So appreciate everything you have. Even if you're not a millionaire. Islam. Allah the Father, the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah will protect them and guide and salvation by night and by day. Through His prophet,